solely to explore. We should have a webinar with Emma solely to explore how she's able to juggle a lot of things. So, I mean, I don't know if Emma, if you can hear me.
I can hear
I
you
would
loud
like
and
to know. I would like to know as a matter of personal interest how you're able to juggle all those engagements, be committed. I mean, and then give your best all the time. How are you able to, maybe as part of introduction, if you can give us just how are you able to do it?
Whoa, okay. So, Echo, you and I know that when you're passionate about something, you find the energy somewhere, somehow. So, within 24 hours, you find time to split. I mean, there are days where you feel so sleepy and tired, then you are used to getting power naps to just back up and get back on track. Today, like this, I had to intentionally sleep after the girls went to school, woke up at 1 o'clock. I was back on the grind. I've been on the grind, left a meeting, told them I'll be back. I have a session. When I'm done, I'll go back to the meeting. So I just love what I do, basically. If I don't love it, I would not do it. So I'm driven by what I love. That is why you see me do all of those things that I do. Yeah.
Mm. They say if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. So I
Absolutely.
guess that's the guiding principle. But I mean I admire you. I admire how consistent you are with your commitments. When you commit to something, how you stay on it. Because some of
Thank
us,
you.
regardless. So so thank you. Thank you for making time out of your busy schedule to be part
My
of our
pleasure.
Ember webinars. So let me just quickly read a short proof. Okay, well, it's not short, but I'll just summarize. So Emma Lindate is a public speaker, brands influencer, HR strategist, leadership and personal development coach, German Africa startup consultant, as well as an event consultant. As an HR strategist with about 15 years of human resource general practice, she has had experience within several industries, including aviation, oil and gas, academia, media, wellness, fashion, medical laboratory, supply chain, and then manufacturing. I met you in a media house. She's a founder and CEO of ICS Africa Limited, Impact Concepts and Solutions Africa, a budding Pan-African company that provides management consulting, personal and professional development marketing, communications, as well as corporate events, engineering, and management services. She's a lot. She's a lot. In fact, if I have to finish reading her profile, the session will end. So please Google her. All right, Google her. And I think that whatever she's presenting today to look at employee well-being and productivity would give you some insight on who she is and how loaded she is. So Emma, without taking too much of your time, please, we are your audience. You have the floor. Thank you so much for making
Thank,
time.
thank you so much, Echo, for the opportunity. And I'm really impressed with this session you've been doing. And I think that it's something that budding and emerging and those who seek to be entrepreneurs would appreciate. One cannot take away from you the epicenter of supporting entrepreneurs, trying to make them find their footing and ensuring that the entrepreneurship landscape, especially when it comes to SMEs, is protected. Thank you so much for giving yourself to this journey that is more of a sacrifice than even a pleasure. I know if you and I were in the States, we'll be counting how much we'll be counting by now. We're
Tell right
practicing
now
outside.
they'll be putting us on the Forbes list. Oh,
I
shit, oh
tell
shit.
you, like by now, oh my God, know, and but for the love of the continent, we are still here. We are still here. Some of us get people, Emily, leave Ghana, come over here, let's go. They're like, you know what? We have a mission here and we need to fulfill it. We
That's
still
true.
believe in Africa. We believe in our SME partners. We believe in our SME ecosystem. And
That's
that is the
true.
reason why when I was asked what topic would I want to touch on today, Echo, it's amazing that as Africans, we lose touch of our feelings. We actually think that it's okay to be stressed out. We believe it's okay to, our life should be hard. Like, I don't know where we got that from. We believe that life has to be so stressful before you can be effective. And then if you've noticed, Echo, a lot of times we complain about entrepreneurs or leaders who are insensitive in the sense that they don't, their employees are complaining about working environments, working opportunities, and awesome leadership and all of that. And you almost want to think that it is normal for leaders to just be wicked, or it's normal for leaders, entrepreneurs to just be what's the word? Insensitive to our needs. And so, as an HR professional, amongst other things I do, I began to think about what exactly is the problem? What really is the solution to this? Because who starts a business for it to fail? Echo, I come to you, sit down with you, do my business plan and everything. Oh, praise the Lord, I have access to capital. Why do we not have legacies in Africa as business? Why do we not have business legacies in the continent? What is the problem? Is it just the fact that we don't have access to capital, or we don't have access to finance, or we don't have access to the market? What really is the problem? And so, via inspiration, I got to know that hurt people hurt people. And it's not just about intimate relationships, even in business. If you're an entrepreneur under the sound of my voice, and you are going through trauma that comes from family issues, personal issues, disappointments, health, verbal abuse, rejection, or just coming from a family where your parents passed on their own trauma to you. So it's very normal for you to be in an African home and you see parents who are always nagging their kids, always seemingly to be upset. Nothing you do pleases them. And you've grown up to be an adult. And you're not even conscious of the fact that what you went through at home has formed your very core. And so you only give what you have, whether it's in marriage, whether it's in business, whether it's in a social setting. You give, even now, the men of God they are all passing on trauma to their church, and they don't even know. And so, because we are more Afrocentric, we are very spiritual minded. And so, we almost like to use certain things as, is a spiritual issue or it's an African thing. That's how we are. And we have termed it normal. But no, there is hope and there is a way out. The easiest way to position your company that you have sweated and toiled for is to be a CEO of empathy. I want you to tell yourself or type in the chat section, I am a CEO of empathy. Please type in the chat section. I want to be sure that you are listening to me. I invited some of my friends from the HR confraternity because this topic is something that is very, interesting, very passionate to them, because in our workplace now, we are being encouraged to project employee well-being as a business strategy for high productivity. But for those of you who are basically just entrepreneurs, please, I want you to type, I'm a CEO of empathy. Listen, it is not necessary for you to own a business and you are stressed. Oh, for what? How can you employ people? How can you employ top talent? You are paying salary and then you go home upset. Is that what you got up to do in the morning, that, oh, let me use my time, I have nothing to do with myself, so I am coming to what? Set up a business and then I'm going home upset? No. And I'm going to take us through how to cultivate, cultivate a culture of empathy and how it directly affects productivity. So usually I like to be very practical. So stay with me and we'll take this further away. So can I share? Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I see the chat. Yes, I'm a CEO of empathy. Everybody, please, if you're an entrepreneur, type, I am a CEO of empathy. And I'm going to tell you why it is critical for us to be CEOs of empathy. Okay. Can you all see my slide?
Yes, I mean,
okay.
We can see.
Thank you very much. Right, so I'm going to shut down my video for now and I'll come back once I'm done with the presentation. Okay, so here we go. Now, there's a concept we call, oh, sorry, an empathetic workplace. Now, this is the game changer. This is the game changer. An empathetic workplace is where employees and their leaders actively understand and share feelings and perspectives of their colleagues. This environment fosters open communication, mutual respect, and support, creating a positive and inclusive atmosphere. In such a workplace, empathy is not just a soft skill, but it's a fundamental component that enhances collaboration, innovation, and overall organizational success. Now, it is said that money is a motivator, but it is not the biggest motivator. There are people that will work for you without the slightest dollar until after a work is done. And you wonder why they are with that person. As against somebody, people who work for so much and they are being used to the last penny that they are being paid for. 70% of the time your employees spend with you, even you as an entrepreneur, is work-related. When I left the corporate world, I thought that I would have more free time as an entrepreneur. Boy, I didn't know I wasn't told the entire truth. So I spend most of my time working. I have to juggle with family, juggle with, personal life, juggle with philanthropy, juggle even with God, who I have a personal relationship with. It is not an easy feat. But when, one, your life is a life of empathy. Two, organization is full of people with empathy. Because your mental health and well-being. I mean, empathy is an aspect of mental health and well-being. Because your mental health and well-being is well taken care of, creativity and innovation will never be far from your organization. And creativity and innovation is even more important where there are issues or there are problems that need solutions in an organization. A business is set to do what? Solve problems. And problems are always going to exist, of which is a secret ingredient for your success. The more problems the organization is able to solve, the more money you make. Okay? People will pay for value. It's as simple as that. And if your people are in the right state or frame of mind, that balance sheet of yours will reflect the same. Okay? Very, very important. So for your workplace to be empathetic, there has to be active listening where team members, led by their leaders, show genuine interest and understanding when they listen attentively to their colleagues. Okay? And I subordinates think that leaders don't need such active listening. No, leaders also matter. Leaders also are human beings that want to be cared for. Nobody wants to feel like you are here for my salary and that's it, even though that is the truth. But the employees that go the extra mile, my goodness, they are gold to such an employer. Open communication, where employees believe they can express their feelings, they can express their thoughts, they can express their emotions without fear of judgment. Trust me, these people will go to hell for you, and that is what you need. Support and compassion. Recently, I recruited a friend of mine through a colleague, recruiter somewhere. She just started working and she was so passionate about the place. She talked to me about what she's seeing and the changes she's going to make. And then she fell sick after about 2 or 3 weeks on the job. She fell sick on the job. They saw her very ill. It was one of those rainy days and there was a hospital close by, of which nobody has supported or assisted her to go there to get support, and they told her to go home. All the way from Domi to Obechelamte, that's Michelle Camp. She got home and she developed pneumonia. She almost died. Then we all know how pneumonia can be serious. They didn't hear from her because she couldn't talk. She was coughing so badly. It was horrible. And obviously, because she didn't have enough money, I mean, she had to go through, she thought she could get medical support cheaper, which she did. And then it ended up not getting her an excuse duty for the workplace. Thankfully, the HR consultant was being supportive, but then the employer decided to sack the employee without even visiting her when she was ill, without even waiting for her to come and give an explanation of what happened. None of that. They just told the consultant to fire her. Now, this is an employee that was new and had had an experience from an international background and was coming in to support this organization, a local content organization, to take it to that level, and they could not be bothered. If you are such an entrepreneur where everybody must do things by the book, listen, policies and best practices will never be argued away from. But remember that as human as we are, we will not always be aligned for whatever reasons. Life will always happen. Some of us are slow in learning. Some of us, our learning curve are not the same. Our understandings are not the same. It is that human efforts, the human touch, that will make the difference in people. I always say that, listen, except you are not willing, you can be the most empty-headed person the world has called you to be. If God puts you in my hands, you will live a superstar. I'm telling you, as long as you are willing. And in HR, we are more interested in those who are willing and not those who are able. Because if you are willing, you are trainable. If you are not willing and you are able, you are going to be a pain in our tails, okay? So whenever you are an employer who just gives, attention to every employee, whether they just joined or they have been there, and you do your best as a supportive leader to employees who show cooperation, not those who are what's the word, rebellious. No, we don't have time for rebellious people. Those who show compassion and have high potential, I tell you, things will change. This lady only wanted them to call her and say, you know what, you didn't do well. And this is somebody who has not even been given a proper orientation. And she was like, she only wanted them to tell her how she went wrong and show her to do better. Let us be employers that go beyond the mound. Let us be employers that think outside the box of policy and SOPs, okay? Where you can save a life to cure your own organization, it is worth your time. And underline what I said, to employees who are willing and have potential. If you don't see any of these two, please do not waste your time. Okay? Now, recognition and validation. A company where emotions and contributions are acknowledged, even if you don't use it, acknowledge it, value, and make your employees feel appreciated. Okay, there was one video that Vicky James, one of the leading African designers from Nigeria, fashion designers from Nigeria, she created a different hampers for her staff, and she put some money inside. They didn't even know about it. They were all, as usual, going on with their jobs and working. And here is Vicky at the factory with different boxes, and they all opened it and they all had different gifts and all of that. Whether it was for content or whether it was for real, I took the concept and I said, wow, just imagine I'm working and my boss just comes to surprise me with a hamper. The thought really counts, my brothers and sisters. It is the thought that counts, okay? And finally, inclusive culture where diverse perspectives are respected and encouraged, promoting a sense of belonging for everybody. No matter who you are, male, female, married, single, divorced, what's that word? Your special abilities, Ghanaian or non-Ghanaian, from you are Ghan, you are Khan, whatever, whatever faith you believe in, you've come there to work. You respect their perspectives. You may not agree with it, but you don't make them feel stupid for it. Okay? Definitely, we cannot overemphasize or underestimate the importance of empathy. What will it do for you? Improve communication. Listen, I have this client where the staff are unable to give feedback. When I speak to them, I get a feedback. Without me involved, that feedback will never come up. And I told my client, I said, listen, your body language and your tone, if it is not welcoming, definitely the African-minded person will freeze in the mind. So when I went to do what we call a survey, anonymous survey. The complaint was that sometimes he looks bossy, his approach is so strong, little mistakes, he's not patient, he's shouting and all of that. It's not going to work for you. And as an employer, if you are always shouting, you're always overly excited negatively, you are increasing your chances of high blood pressure and it can kill you. You can just walk and bam, you're on the floor. Heart attack, bam, just like that, because you are always upset. Every little thing worries you. I always say, listen, when something is not solvable, beyond your control, let it go. But don't keep it with you and you keep nagging and nagging and nagging. And if you're working with people you don't trust, close your business. You have no business working with people you don't trust. Either you look for machines or you work with people that you're comfortable with and you give them a chance to grow with you. Anybody who comes to you as an employee must leave change, not because you put money on his table only to feed his family, but because the person came and left different. God has blessed every entrepreneur with the gift of mentorship, pouring back into the people you work with. Your DNA must spread across everybody that works with you. If not, you are a failed leader. Stronger relationships, increased employee satisfaction, reduce stress and burnout, enhance creativity and innovation, higher retention, better customer relations, positive work environment. If you look at all of these importances, they actually one leads to the other. So improved communication enhances relationships. When your relationships are stronger, employees are satisfied, this reduces stress and burnout, then it impacts what? Creativity and innovation. Therefore, inevitably, higher retention rates, better customer relations, and obviously, at the end of the day, we say your company is what it has a positive work environment. In order to understand empathy, there are three levels: cognitive, emotional, and compassionate. So cognitive is where logically you process people's perspectives. Whether you don't agree with it, you just understand that they are saying what they are saying or they are doing what they are doing from their own point of view. Then emotional empathy is where you feel the pain of the other person. So your staff says, I have a very sick relative and the person doesn't have money for a carer. Can you restructure that employee's job to be flexible enough to take care of that person? Is that employee adding value to the company? Is that employee that is giving, all his or her best to the company? Please do something about that. Then compassionate empathy, taking action. You've seen that this person has so from being emotional about it, then you take action about it. All right, it's very, very important. So implementing it as a leader. I've mentioned most of this before: active listening, open communication, recognizing and validating emotions, providing constructive feedback, leading by example. This one, hey, you cannot as a leader fail here. All of these things you are requesting from your employees, you must be the one demonstrating it for you to expect it back from what? Your employees, okay? And then intentional training and development, making sure that your employees understand that empathy is part of your culture. If you are somebody who probably because of trauma or you're growing up, you don't know how to express your feelings, we teach you. There has to be training. Very important. And then refresher, and then checklisting, whether or not, how the empathy vibe of your organization is going, because it is very important. Empathy is what makes people go the extra mile. If you forget anything I said today, don't forget this one. Empathy is what makes an employee or an employer go the extra mile. So the employee will go the extra mile for the employer, for the organization, and then the employer will obviously go the extra mile for the employees. And when that happens, the customer is overly what? Excited. Team building activities enhances empathy because automatically exercises, help the brain to be open and work perfectly. Imagine when you now do these team building activities where there are games and whatnot. It is amazing. And team building sessions don't have to be expensive. I always say it. You don't have to break your bank to have team building sessions. There are creative ways to do it. Or worry, Ludo, go somewhere, get your Sobolo, Asana, and all that. Somebody you can even do, and everybody, you bring rice, you bring stew, you bring chicken. Everybody, let's come and eat. If your company cannot afford it, then all of you together can do it, have fun, play football, go hiking, whatever, go to a hotel environment, sit at the lounge, enjoy, get 1 or 2 drinks, chat, laugh, go to the beach side, enjoy nature. Anything that will enhance your mental health and well-being is important to you. How do you check the empathy temperature of your organization? Employee surveys and feedback, performance reviews and evaluations, monitor your team dynamics and interactions, assess employee satisfaction and well-being, track progress and make necessary adjustments. Most of, if you're an entrepreneur here, you may not have an HR person in your organization because you're not up to 50. You can engage any consultant HR to do this for you. It's very something they do one off, maybe once in a year or twice in a year. It's an amazing thing to do for your staff. Or we can even train you on how to do it, or your managers that they can handle for you. Now, here are some activities that one can adopt and say, we are promoting empathy at the workplace. Random acts of kindness. Random. Like I said, you get up and you come and surprise your staff with goodies without them even knowing. Staff meeting comes. Everybody, check under your seats. Whatever you see is your gift. Whether it's a voucher, whether it's a free lunch, something nice. You see, it's the thoughts that counts, my dear entrepreneurs. It is the thoughts that counts. Some of you will say, oh, people are wicked. You can go the extra mile. They will still do you wrong. Let me tell you something about life. Even the people are marrying people and their spouses are hurting them. People have fathers and mothers. That one, there's nothing you can do about it. You were born by those people, and they're the ones making your life a living here. You cannot unfather and unmother your parents, or this mother or this father, or disown any of them. You can't do it. But life is, see, such is life. C'est la vie. People will hurt you. People you love, you trust so much will disappoint you. But that does not mean you should become a monster. You should not let the trauma be passed on to you. Many people who hurt you are traumatized and they don't even know. And because we're not used to psychological support in Africa, the entire continent is full of traumatic people who are working. Some that should be seeking help, or because you're not in an asylum, does not mean that you're mentally okay. So the entire continent has been affected. Accept it. Continue to be a light. Light will never be overshadowed by darkness. I tell you, my brother and sister, it will never. So yes, there are employees that you will do everything and go to heaven and earth for, and they'll still hurt you. Let them hurt you. There's a policy, kick them away. And let people see that we make this an example of what we do to you if you don't comply. The God we serve, for those of you who are not atheists, he gets hurt more than you and I every day. Has he stopped loving you? Has he stopped caring for you? Has he stopped providing for you? No. So why are you saying that just because some employees are bad, you don't want to treat employees, or because when they see that you're an employer who is good, they take it for granted? Let them take it for granted and kick them out. Let me tell you something. If you have people that pretend under you because you are behaving like a dictator, not leading, they will still behind you. They will go and take your clients and do business behind your back. At the end of the day, everything, they are still misbehaving. Just that with one you can see, with the other one you can't see. So I will always advise you to be a sea of empathy so you can flush out the bad nuts. We have also what we call perspective taking exercises. We talked about appreciating people's perspectives. So have a session, bring an idea, take everybody's perspectives, and then, keep it in an ideas bank. Tomorrow, that perspective can help you. Active listening workshops, training, like I said, all right? Empathy mapping. Here, this helps with decision-making processes. So you bring about issues in the company and let everybody talk about how they feel about the situation. And then you get their feedback, you understand. So there are people who will tell you employees don't deserve a raise to be productive. They are lazy. That is just their idea. They've not checked why the employees are not performing. They've already assumed that, for the facts that the employee is being paid and is not working, the employee is lazy. So they'll tell you, don't do it. If you give them more money, they'll take it for granted. And somebody else to say, no, I think that if we're able to understand the specific need of the employee and connect it to performance, I think that we can actually save the employee and let the employee do well on the job. Everybody will bring their perspective based on their experiences. And even with this session, people get to learn. Oh, wow, I never thought about that. That is new. And everybody appreciates each other. Story sharing sessions, I remember one of my clients, we had the session where everybody picked a card, and this employee was selected a card that said she should share her most challenging moment in her life. She shared a story that the boss had never heard of before. And that moment, everybody started crying. Imagine having a head of marketing, a single mom. She's going through a lot, but she comes to work every day and she's meeting a target. It was a life changer for us. And that makes you more sensitive and empathetic towards your staff. You get to know your staff needs, and then the staff becomes more committed to you. And there are these emojis these days on social media, facial expression activity. So they'll give us an emoji. Okay, demonstrate what or express what you see. And some people will see something and think it means something else. It's a very fun, and it's so good for team bonding as well. And we what the right thing is done. As CEOs, you can also write letters of appreciation via email to your staff randomly. If you don't have money to even give them, just tell them you love them so much and you are looking forward to seeing the best way we can make more money. Team building activities, mindfulness practices, and of course, feedback sessions are very important. What will stop you from experiencing or having a workplace that is empathetic? Lack of time. I'm busy. Does that ring a bell to my men here? Why are you not calling? I'm busy. Why are we not going out? I'm busy. Why are we not going out on a date? I'm busy. Now dates you go chop. The men will say if you don't go and work, the woman will complain that they're not bringing money. Well, the women too are saying that if you keep working and I am lonely, then I may as well be single or find somebody else that has my time. This comes to the same thing with workplace. You cannot be a leader that is busy for your staff. It's not possible. I always tell my clients who are too busy to handle people management that listen, you will run this business and wake up one day, you'll be alone in your business. Now, people are becoming very sensitive. I do recruitment and call for interview and nobody shows up. They all wanted a job, then they don't show up. I don't know whether they've gone to do background check on the company or they've gone to ask about the company and then they don't show up. But let me tell you something, the way Ghanaians treated our politicians, employees are also doing the same to employers. So we need to level up. Make time for the employees, especially those who matter and adding value to your company. Lack of skills. Some of you are naturally not empathetic. You are choleric to the core. Your melancholy and sanguine spirit is you don't have any. So you need to be trained how to be empathetic. Some of you were born in homes where it was military, so you don't understand empathy. You need to be trained. Bias and judgment, this thing that we do, stereotyping is wrong. When you stereotype and have a bad perception about somebody, you will never be empathetic towards the person. So living an empathetic life will help you not to be biased and judge people wrongly. Stress and burnout. If you are stressed, hurt people, stress people do what? Stress people. So you need to ensure that you have a stress management strategy. Take care of yourself, leader. Have fun. Don't work every day. Me, I sleep. I watch certain programs that I love. I am a social media nomad, and then I go out from time to time. I take care of myself, listen to music, meditate. I love talking to God. All of those things is very, very good for us. Please take care of yourself as a leader. If not, you cannot be effective as a leader. Cultural differences, like I said before, please, we need to be diverse. If you don't respect somebody's culture, you will not be empathetic. And some of you too I don't know why we think vulnerability is weakness. No, vulnerability is strength. Vulnerability is strength. There's beauty in being vulnerable. Too bad for the person that doesn't understand that. That person has a serious self-esteem problem. You are stronger than that person. So showing empathy doesn't mean you are weak. It means that you're a kind human being. Leaders are supposed to be empathetic. Lack of focus. When your hands are everywhere, oh my God, you are walking into the corridor. Hey, Echo, good morning. Echo is on the phone. He can't even hear anybody. And he's walked past the employees. And the employees feel like their boss is being distant or cold towards them. No, don't be too, if you are too distracted and multitasking and you're not getting results, why wait in the first place? So take your time, focus on what is important and urgent. Focus on what is important, not urgent. What is urgent, not important. What is urgent, what is not urgent, what is not important. Set your priorities straight and everything will be okay. And obviously, Anybody who is full of anger, anybody who is always angry can never be empathetic. If you are that person that you get angry easily, please get therapy, okay? You need to have control over your emotions. Your emotions cannot take over from you. Finally, I'll say that empathy is in the workplace is a very powerful tool that can transform workplace dynamics, leading to a more harmonious, productive, and successful organization. Therefore, leaders of organizations must ensure that they emulate empathy so that employees at all levels will be encouraged to demonstrate the same. When employees know what is not tolerable, when employees know that bad politics, snitching, gaslighting, what's that thing? What something like there's a word for it. When you revenge, it's like you're being vengeful against an employee who has gone to report that you are doing the wrong thing. Being vengeful or retaliation, that's the retaliation. All of those things should not be encouraged. When they know that as a manager, if you misbehave and I report you professionally, you'll be in trouble. All managers will be aligned. When employees know that if you also do the same and they report you, you'll be in trouble. All employees will be aligned. When there's no favoritism, there is no inequity, but fairness and equity in culture expectations. I tell you, you can, as a CEO, you can go and travel for weeks, come back, your business is even twice better than when you are there. And that is the goal of entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for your time. I will be very happy to take your questions and listen to your own suggestions and feedback. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Emma. Well, I have questions, but then I would want to find out. So thank you for an amazing presentation. I have some questions, but I want to find out if you have questions, please either you lift your hand or you put it in the chat box if you're not in a position to talk. But my first question is this issue of empathy. How do we um, avoid being taken advantage of, as an employee or as, a business leader? Because you know that when you give somebody a yard, they take a mile because they believe that, oh, my boss is understanding and then, he's empathetic. So then whatever I bring to him, he's likely to listen. And this person might be cooperative, all right. But then you see, you've built a certain pattern of being empathetic and overly understanding. So how does one prevent themselves from being taken advantage of? As a result, it's, reducing the productivity of his or her workforce.
Excellent question, Echo. Set boundaries. Listen, in any relationship, every kind of relation you find yourself, when you set boundaries as an empathetic person, nobody will take you for granted. In simple friendship, Echo Mensa and I are friends. What Echo doesn't like, he doesn't tolerate. We do business together. He opens up opportunities. When I am going left, when I'm supposed to go right, Emma, red flag. However we communicate is between us. Red flag, this is not tolerated. You do it first time, I forgive you. Emily, for me, I give you 3 chances. First time, I see you were ignorant. Second time, you're trying to get you on your feet. Third time is a decision. The third time you do it, I cut you off. Please, in the employment sector. That's why there's a policy for performance management. Empathy is the bedrock, but performance sits on top of the block of empathy. So if I've given you the rules and regulations of my company, I'm a boss that thinks outside policy, and you decide to misbehave, the boundary will catch you. Okay? Let's learn how to be balanced. Learn how to be balanced. You are fair, you are tough when necessary. You cannot be overly extended when it comes to the two. So, Echo, I will say set clear boundaries, let the boundaries be well communicated, and let the sanctions for breaking those boundaries apply when necessary. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Echo, are
Thank
you
you so
there?
much. Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I mean, this is good because I know that whatever you tolerate, people fully take advantage of that. If they know that you don't tolerate that, no matter
Yes.
how nice you are, they are also a bit careful. So then that's where one has to find a balance between being firm as well as being empathetic. So I think that okay, so that setting boundaries would help. But what do you say about this thing where people say that nice bosses don't necessarily win, and businesses that the bosses are quite firm, they don't take excuses, it's all about results, productivity, they tend to win and their businesses tend to flourish. What's your take on that? I don't know if you've also heard it. I don't know if you've experienced
So
it, and I don't
so
know
so
if you've
so
observed it.
so Echo, these are things that we hear. I haven't experienced it before. I think that research is the only thing I fall on as a practice as a professional consultant here. So I have engaged with companies that look good on the outside, Echo. Mhm. When you engage the employees, they are full of a lot of sickness. So when you see a company where they are overly strict and all, where the environment is very unfriendly, there's a lot of illness among the staff over there. And because they don't have anywhere to go, trust me, any employee that finds himself there will always be looking for a way out. But if they don't have a way out, then they tend to be there, and then the value of their lives are declining. And so it gets to a point where they are only there to make money for you. But those people will never go the extra mile like Comensa. So if the company has employees where they're overly strict, and please, being strict is not bad though. Let me give an example. So Dubai as a country is where it is because there are strict laws, but they are also open-minded. Echo, do you get my point? So the strict laws apply where you are being misaligned. So if you do what is wrong, then they will crack the whip. Only when you err. But when you don't err, yeah, nobody's
Mm-hmm.
complaining. I don't, it will take a mad person to shout at somebody doing the right thing. I don't know if you get my point. So
I
in
do.
companies where you hear they are strict, I want to believe they are saying they are an assertive organization, they are a disciplined organization, but I want to also understand that they may have some soft, strategies that they also use to encourage their team. So on the outside, you might think that, oh, over here, let's look at Burkina Faso, for example. Is it not a dictatorship, Echo? But the people are happy.
Well,
The people are excited for what we are seeing. You know why? The strictness is giving them results. But when you are strict and you are choking my neck and making my life a living hell, I don't like it. I always say Africans need tough hands. A regular African person. So when they come to your company, let them see that you're a family, but you don't take nonsense. You get my point? Let them see that you are a sweet, loving family, but if you misbehave, then you will pay the penalty. That is why I said there should be a balance. So for those companies, I don't have more information about anything else apart from what they say. And I don't know. And there are companies where by default, whether or not you have a good employees or not, their product is needed. You get it. People have to buy, eat, or consume it. So no matter how well no matter how much you don't care about employees, if you're a bank, people always invest their money there. Is that not it? They will save their money. Oil and gas, we need fuel, we need gas, we need kerosene, fast moving consumer goods, sugar, milk, garri, rice. You see how those people work under harsh conditions. We are always going there to buy. We go to Malcolm and go to buy. Do you know how much retailers pay their staff? Do you know whether they're happy or not? But you see, they're always having bosses that always frown. I bet they're working, but are they happy? And are they able to ensure that nobody is stealing? Are they able to ensure that some of them can resign and then take their database of the company and then use them to start selling and they become your competition? Do you know that is happening? They will keep quiet and take your nonsense and they're planning against you. Are you aware that is a time bomb? There is a company, what happened was one of them was sacked wrongly. He didn't see anything. The person was not put in a position that regulates the company industry. And then he sacked all of them. He waited. He didn't go to court. He waited. He planned the whole thing. And it became a labor issue. They had to beg him. They had to beg him because the way he was taking the project, the contract from the company somewhere else. So please be very careful. Human beings you can turn angels into demons. Let's be careful. Some people like us will never do evil to you, no matter what you do to me. But everybody is not like me or like you who is like that. So you be careful as a leader to be tender and be tough when necessary. Please. All I would say is let there be a balance.
Uh, Emma, is okay. I'm just wondering, is this something you've grown with time to perfect, or it's something that you believe that it works all the time? Have you ever faced challenges in your bid to have an empathetic culture that promotes employee well-being and productivity? What would you say has been some of your challenges? Unless you're saying that it's been all rosy throughout because that's how you are and that's the system you're building. Have you had challenges? Have you ever been like what you're saying, but then people have still, maybe stolen from you, backstabbed you, or something that, you were shocked?
So I mentioned something earlier in my presentation that some of us will say that we'll never be empathetic because human beings are wicked, no matter how good you are to them. So yes, I'm an empathetic leader. I've had people come to me. I've had people benefit from me and leave without even doing things properly. I've had people not prioritize me as part of my team and prioritize something else over me when I open doors for the person. Echo, it happens. Listen, I have a mindset that people are like trees. Okay, people are like trees, parts of the tree. Some are leaves, some are stems, some are roots, some are whatever. However you present yourself to me, I don't complain. I am Constant K in the success of my life, Echo. I am what is constant. Anything around me is not guaranteed. Do you get my point? Anything outside Emmeline is not guaranteed. I have no control over anything else apart from my life, right? And my decisions, my disposition, and my position. I am in control of that. But when it comes to anything else, human beings, even children cry, Echo, you're not in control of everything about them. Then, how much more people who are not blood related to you? So it's not been an easy ride. What I do is I just accept it and I move on. Anybody who leaves as a replacement, I won't chase you away. For me, dear, it's not I've sacked you. But if you walk away, there's somebody else who needs that position. Somebody else who has been committed, training himself or herself, waiting for an opportunity to be with me, is looking for me. So the moment you walk and you decide you don't want to be with me, I have somebody else waiting to take the spot. It's as simple as that. I keep telling myself and my team that this company I run is not mine. I'm only a servant in the company. I have dedicated my company as God's own company. Everything, he's the board chairman. I only sit down and I represent him as a human being, and that's it. I've given him, sovereignty, but I use my business sense and my all the gifts given me as a business person to run the business as it should be run in a professional, strategic manner. So if anybody decides to walk, I bless you. I wish you well. Bye bye. And anybody else coming, if you break my rules or the rules of the company, I align you, I train you, I talk to you, and I give you time to grow. And if you are not growing, you yourself will even walk away because you see there is no compatibility. So I think that leaders should be okay with people walking away. Life is like that. People will walk away from you. It's life. It doesn't stop you from being the amazing person that you are. Okay. It doesn't take anything away from you. It doesn't stop you from being the best thing since ice cream. But always be the leader to understand life is not fair. Okay. But the decisions you make can turn your life around. So that is my perspective. So I speak from experience, even for my clients that I encourage to be the same. I support them. Then when I notice an employee are misbehaving, I say, listen, this employee will do you wrong. Let the person go. Some of my clients have employed their family members, and they decide that no matter what they do, they will not crack the whip. But when an employee who's not related to them does the same thing, they crack the whip. And I say, listen, the way you are behaving, you're going to create monsters. And then the people, some of them was, even me as a consultant, they won't talk to me again. So how much more employees you work with? So Echo, the cycle is there, okay? It's a cycle of life, but it should never deter you from being different, okay?
All right. Okay, so Charles, your hand is up. You have a question for Emma? We just have three
Yes,
minutes
thank you
to
very
wrap up. Okay,
okay.
Charles, please go
Thank
ahead.
you very much. Thank you very much, Madam. This is a very eye-opener for us. So I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So in my team, there are, I think in many organizations, you find some people who are really exceptional. So there is that tendency of one being more empathetic towards the exceptional ones. It is not that you are discriminating against the others, but it's natural. So, and it creates the risk of people thinking that you favor A over B.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
So naturally, as human as we are, you would be more emotionally inclined towards people who are like you. All right, Charles. So
Yes.
you see these people are always there, they're giving their best. There's what we call I've forgotten the name. There's a leadership factor that proves this point, that a leader is naturally attracted and will normally surround himself with people that are like his nature. So whether you are bad or good, by default, you would be leaning towards those who behave like you. So I'll teach you this. Segment your teams accordingly. The MVPs, the high potentials, the potential, and Charlie, no hope for these people. Anyone that is no hope, they should not be in your company beyond 6 months, please. They should go home.
Okay.
Probation will not help them. Okay? They should go home. You've done everything necessary to support them. Nothing is changing. Let them go home. The one with potential, your energy towards them. So there should be equitable attention. Anybody who comes for help, they get. Anybody who wants support, they get. But when it comes to going the extra mile, you're a human, but you cannot give even those of us with kids, even the kind of attention you give your children is not the same, right? So it happens even at work. The MVPs will get the most of you because they are your cash cows. You get it? Anyone who is bringing you more value, hey, Charles, it is critical that you pay more attention to them. But what you need to do is to teach them how to also bring up the other ones to speed. Do you get it?
Okay.
Because as a leader, you may not have time for everybody genuinely at the same time. So the MVPs are well fed from you. That is why mentorship is very key, Charles. Have mentors that will mentor those to level them up to where you need them to be. So everybody may not be an MVP, but the aim is at least they should get to high potential. You get it? So from potential, you get to either high potential and you stay there, or they have the capacity, they move toward the most valuable players. All right? So get mentors from your MVPs. Teach, even you can, there's what we call peer-to-peer mentorship. You know what that means? So a particular colleague on the same level is mentoring this colleague on the same level who is not a high performer. So he or she will understudy that colleague of his or hers till the person gets to where he needs to be. So that MVP is holding their hand. It's like hand holding, supporting. Okay. So you need to let everybody in the company know that this is a call we have here, and mentorship is part of our culture. So from time to time, either your senior or your colleague will be assigned to you as a mentor. If you are humble, learn. It doesn't matter the age of the person. Whether you are older than the person, you are more experienced than the person. Once the person is more talented than you and provides more results, that person qualifies to be a mentor. If you cannot agree with this thing, please leave my company. Don't waste my time, because like I said, leaders don't really have that much time. Leaders also have a personal life to live, and you need a balanced life. So you need to delegate this cultural expectations to people around you that will help you to grow others to the same level, so that you'll be able to pay attention to the same attention to everybody. Charles, you get my point. But
Yes,
it's a process. It's something. It's not a destination. It's a journey. So you take
okay.
it one step at a time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anytime, you're welcome.
Okay, so Emma, there's a question from Irene. How do you
Okay.
handle situations where employees are hesitant to open up about their struggles or challenges?
Right. So, in our practice, there are these areas border around confidentiality issues. It is not uncommon for you to know that somebody's problem has been discussed and then it's become a topic of the office. Many a times, people will not want to speak with you. So there are some of us who, by default, people see and are comfortable talking to us. It's grace, right? It's just grace. But if you don't have that grace or that gift, ask the person if the person wants support to refer the person to a private professional. That is why we have what we call the EAP assistance programs, where there are professional EAP service providers that provide this support for staff. Because if you come to a professional, the information between me and the staff stays there. I don't work in your company, so there's no way you can get the information to your company. So if you cannot find somebody within the company that can handle, especially the HR department, then we need to refer the person for counseling services to help the person, especially when it's affecting work. But if you are able to work on a culture where there's an open door policy, there's a policy where you can share, and there is no background as to people having issues with their stories spreading, people will learn. So remember that there are people who have learned the wrong thing. When they come to your company, you need to learn the right culture. And then lastly, there are people who by default, they are suspicious. They naturally don't trust anybody. They have trust issues, either by temperament or by experience. With those ones, you need to earn their trust by showing care, providing the attention and the support that they need. When they see you constantly as empathetic towards them, and you understand and you know that you let them know that, listen, it's okay if you don't want to talk. I get you. Sometimes you make cry. I have problems sharing stories with people, so I get what you mean. When they can see you relate with them, they themselves will settle, and then they will test the waters. But it's important that when they decide to test the waters, don't break their hearts, okay? If not, they will never trust you again. So it's either you take your time and buy time to let them speak with you, or you direct them to a professional corporate counselor that would give you feedback on how to help this employee in question.
Emma, this is insightful, but even me, it feels like a lot of work.
Oh, I forgot
It
to add.
feels.
Echo. I forgot to add that, please, red alert, this is a lot of you. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of energy, mental agility, and willingness to do it. Because, Echo, we are not programmed to be like that. I naturally, and let me tell you something, there are certain personalities that naturally are empathetic, naturally. So for them, it's easy breezy. For me, it's in my temperament. I'm loving, natural. I want to nurture you. I want to make sure you're okay. Even to the detriment of my life, I will do it. That's how I am. But if you are not like me, it's of work to you, because you don't practice it daily in your life. So I say to you all listening to me kindly, practice empathy to yourself. When it's a lifestyle, it is easy to pass it on. Okay? When it's a lifestyle for you, it's going to be very easy for you to pass it on to somebody else. A lot of relationships are breaking today. And I'm using relationships because I manage people who are married and who are dating. Okay? Many of them are unable to be empathetic toward their spouses. And so when their homes are not happy, it affects my job or the job of my clients. So that's why I said earlier, be a CEO of empathy. Be a leader of empathy. Live an empathetic life. Some of you are not kind to yourself. Echo. Some of us are so wicked to ourselves. We treat people the way we treat ourselves. Don't do that. Okay? Love yourself. Make mistakes and don't hate yourself. Some of you have put yourself on a very high standard. If you go below, you have failed. Who told you? Take your time. This life is a life of lessons. All right? Don't be overly hard on yourself. And so what, you messed up. So what, you made a mistake. So, and it wasn't intentional. Learn from it and move on. The most successful people we know today are the biggest failures of our time. Let me tell you, in case you don't know. I love this man, the CEO of Virgin Atlantic. He is a leader of empathy. That guy is amazing. You can be the same. Don't be so stuck up in life. Don't be too serious. Take it easy. You didn't bring this world here. When you go, you're not taking anything with you. So calm down, smell the roses, observe the sunshine, listen to the birds, okay? Dance without music in your ears. Imagine the best thing. Imagine. Be somebody who imagines great things. Even if you are going through so much that it is so heartbreaking, you can't do anything about it. My dear, relax. Calm down. Take it easy. Take a breather. All right? Water will always find its level. As long as you never give up, you are not a failure. No matter how many times you fall, you will rise up again. All right? So, Echo, that is my feedback to you.
I mean, we have to let you go. It's past 8. You're doing this free of charge. And we've taken a whole hour of your life. Thank you so much. For those that want, to engage Emma, please just Google her. She's a celebrity. She's a known face. She's so just Google her, and then I'm sure you are going to be able to get a lot of resources. She shares a lot, and she's an amazing person. So definitely you would get a lot more resource from her. So thank you so much, Emma. I'm truly grateful that you made time. She's sharing her socials, so IG Emma, LinkedIn Emma Lindate. Just Google her, Emma Lindate. She's you can't miss you can't miss her on the internet. So thank you so much. You have a big heart. I've always known, and you're always available. You're one of those people. I've actually become what you've always wanted me to become, focused.
Yay!
But it's not easy, man. Like
It's
I
not
literally
easy.
have
It's not
to
easy.
I have to force myself to be lazy sometimes just to make sure that I'm
Oh.
focused on something. And my team have also been on my neck, because at some point they just get tired of doing multiple things in a very short time. So yeah, and then also consistency. So focus and consistency. Those are some of the things that you push me. And sometimes I stay away from you because it gets too much. You know. Like a
I
call.
know,
But
I
focus
know.
like, hey, I'll
I
get there,
know,
I'll get
but we
there.
haven't
So
given up on you. We are watching you from behind. Yeah.
you can't give
Yeah.
up on me. Even if you give up
No,
on
it's
me,
not possible.
it won't happen. But thank you. I'm truly, truly, truly grateful.
You're
You are
welcome.
an
You're
inspiration
welcome.
to us. Every time I see you out there, it's like, yeah, I have to get out there more. You are an inspiration.
Thank
So
God.
thank you so much.
God
Guys,
bless
so this
you.
has been Emma. And then on the Ember Business Growth webinar, we are grateful for Emma's time. On the 14th of June at our office at Dancerman, it's a Saturday, I think. So we are having a business growth workshop, and this time is focused on finance, tax, digital marketing, and branding. And it's going to be very interactive. So please sign up. For those of you who don't invest in capacity building, we do this on Thursdays for free, but then once every quarter, we have a physical workshop, and then we invite people to come. And then this one is coming on the 14th. The poster has been shared. It will also be shared in the various groups. And then we hope that you will sign up and then join us. It's on finance, tax, digital marketing, and branding. We're touching on all of them and then seeing how best we can help you throughout the next quarter to build your capacity in these things and then to eventually grow your business. So thank you so much, everybody that made time to join. This has been our presentation for today. Like I said, it feels like a lot of work, but I think that, as Emma always says, if you start, it might be difficult, but then with time, especially when you start with yourself, then you will overflow enough into other people's lives. So thank you for an amazing presentation, Emma. And thank you, Esther, for being I don't know, Esther, would you say I'm an empathetic boss? I'm not too sure. I'm an absent boss.
Yes, please.
I really want to know. This feedback is important. Esther is Echo an
Esther
empathetic
is
boss?
here. I don't know if Dorcas Devs are also here, but well, I want to know, Esther.
It's a very good
Esther.
good question. I want to know. Esther.
Esther is a coordinator for my Ember webinar. She works with me full
Yes.
time. So Esther, please, I will send you a query.
Esther is Echo empathetic enough, or he has a lot of work to do?
If I the workshop has ended, Emma,
Echo,
thank
this
you.
quiet, this quietness, yeah, nah. But you know, Echo, good feedback is good though. It's amazing. I mean, it's good.
Oh,
when
leave
people
them
tell you
alone.
the truth.
See, they just want more of my time, and I don't have time. You know, that's what I'm working. So I'll come for you for one-on-one coaching for that. How do I make
Mate, but Echo, this I don't have time. It's common among you men. It's too bad. Why? I don't have
Okay,
time.
I think at this point, this is where this is all we can give. Thank you so much.
So you know.
Have a good night, all of you. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody. God bless you. I see my
Bye.
friend
Thank you
Ruby
so
Golo.
much.
Thank you for coming, Ruby. I see some of
Thank
you. God bless you. Bye.
Bye, guys.